assure you that the United States military is prepared.
小心！
我替潘航田队长命令你，
向我开炮！
Well, the movie takes place in the year 2035, and the opening scene shows a Chinese spaceship returning to Earth, carrying an extraordinary new energy source known as Xianteng. This breakthrough energy quickly supplants traditional energy sources such as oil and coal, sparking rapid and unprecedented urban development within just a few years. However, the extensive use of Xianteng lures unexpected visitors, that is alien species, which leads to a coordinated global assault on major cities to avenge the theft. The 4 fortress cities, where energy treasures are located and protective shields are built, have been badly hit.
Arrived in Los Angeles. In the last 5 minutes,
An emergency meeting is held in Shanghai, one of the 4 fortress cities, where an international joint force, UNDC, is established by elites from all over the world to defend against the Annihilator's attack. Shanghai pools all energy resources to build a cutting-edge defense system. With the fall of New York, Tokyo, and New Delhi, the Shanghai fortress becomes the last hope and haven of mankind. Utilizing a simulation of the aliens' robotic assault, the elite Grey Eagle team, comprising Jiang, Zhengyu, Yaiyi, and Pan, operates the most advanced military drones to combat the invaders. Their impressive synergy stems from their complementary skills and rigorous training under Commander Lin Lan. Commander Yi Yun is particularly impressed with Jiang's piloting abilities, a skill underscored by Lin Lan's endorsement. Jiang, previously part of the team responsible for building the Shanghai cannon that fortifies the city, has since transitioned to the battle unit to bolster their defenses. On Lin Lan's birthday, Jiang, who harbors deep feelings for her, struggles with shyness about giving her a flower.
林兰，生日快乐！
Despite this, Jiang is buoyed by Lin Lan's encouraging response to his training performance later that night. Sometime later, a code red alert is declared. An alien mothership has appeared above Shanghai. As panic spread, civilians are swiftly directed to shelters, while military forces prepare for the confrontation. Shanghai's defense includes a powerful force field that initially repels the mothership's laser attacks. However, when the force field is breached, the aliens deploy an army of robots, creating chaos in the city. In the ensuing battle, Jiang heroically saves a girl from a robot-induced car crash, but the threat intensifies. Lin Lan's tank arrives just in time to destroy the attacking robot, and the drones manage to neutralize the remaining invaders, allowing engineers to restore the force field temporarily. The Science Division later identifies a weakness in the mothership, proposing a strike with the Shanghai cannon. Yi Yun, however, forbids this due to the potential risk of a devastating counterattack that could endanger lives. Afterward, Yi Yun takes Lin Lan to a secure facility to reveal that Shanghai possesses the last remaining deposit of Xianteng, which is responsible for powering the city's fortress and force field. If they were to fire the cannon, it would deplete the remaining Xianteng, leaving the city completely defenseless. The best strategy to keep the aliens at bay is to continue training the Grey Eagle team, who could eventually replace the force field. Meanwhile, Jiang and his friends are relaxing on a rooftop, enjoying drinks and dreaming about their lives beyond the war with no aliens. Zhengyu wants to learn about AI, while Yi prefers to go to a film school. Pan says he would open a motorbike service shop and ride on a bike with his wife to the mountains freely. Last but not least, Jian shares that he doesn't want to think too much and hopes to become a commander soon.
喂，祝你们梦想成真！
Their moment of respite is abruptly interrupted by an emergency call announcing another citywide attack. They quickly return to the fortress to prepare for battle. As expected, the force field activates to block the incoming beams. However, Pan notices something peculiar. Despite the damage to the shield, the enemy robots aren't attacking. He realizes it's a trap. The aliens are intentionally making them repair the field repeatedly, aiming to deplete their Xianteng reserves and leave the city vulnerable. When a beam eventually breaches the force field, it causes significant damage inside the fortress, allowing the robots to breach the defenses. The soldiers are forced into close combat, but their bullets prove ineffective, resulting in heavy casualties. The Grey Eagles step in to provide support, but their efforts are limited, so they focus on taking control control of the drones to repair the force field. Meanwhile, the committee defies Yiyun's orders and decides to activate the cannon. They use a reduced power setting to avoid exhausting all their Shanteng, but manage to deal a substantial blow to the mothership. The Grey Eagles succeed in repairing the force field, forcing the mothership to retreat. However, a nearby robot survives the skirmish and remains a threat. Later that evening, the Grey Eagles unwind with their hobbies. Jiang, emboldened by their recent victory, invites Lin Lan for a bike ride. Unfortunately, it turns out to be a dream.
别睡了，太阳都晒屁股。
Upon waking, Jiang finds out that the Grey Eagles have been promoted for their exceptional performance. Yi suggests celebrating their promotion at a club, but Jiang is preoccupied with thoughts of Lin Lan. While brooding on the roof, Yi notices Jiang's mood and encourages him not to hesitate in confessing his feelings to Lin Lan, as the future is uncertain. Later, the team watches on TV as the man who activated the cannon receives an even higher promotion, referring to a loved one. Jiang assumes this person is Lin Lan, and he becomes despondent. That evening, Jiang goes to a noodle restaurant and is surprised to find Lin Lan there. They discuss the immense pressure of their situation and the heavy toll of the battle. Seeing Lin Lan's tension, Jiang musters the courage to give her a gift to lift her spirits. After she leaves, Jiang sends her a message asking to meet the next day, and he is thrilled when she agrees. The next morning, Pan and Zheng Yu dress Jiang in a leather jacket to impress his date.
我这衣服可是限量版的啊！
However, Yi intervenes, insisting he wear his uniform instead. Moments later, Jiang meets with Lin Lan and is disappointed to hear she only wants to meet to check on the generators. While Jiang does the maintenance, Lin Lan opens up about her training days and her father, who was a cold soldier who died in battle. She becomes emotional, expressing her hope for a future where children can look up at the stars instead of the beams that keep the force field up. Sometime later, panic erupts as the ground starts to split, as if an invisible earthquake has hit the area. Yiyun informs the committee that the energy deposits are unstable, and that using the cannon has made it worse, increasing the risk of the force field going down. Suddenly, an alert warns that cracks have appeared on the force field. Yiyun rushes back to the command center to guide the Grey Eagles in repairing the damage. Their skillful teamwork manages to restore the field, but it's clear that this is only a short-term fix.
好，大家休息一下。
At that moment, a robot breaks through the roof into the command center and begins attacking people. The soldiers' bullets are ineffective, and Pan's attempt to use a fire extinguisher is equally futile. The robot severely injures Pan and drags him to the force field panel to disable it. With his dying breath, Pan activates the self-destruct sequence, allowing Jiang and Zheng Yu to drag a distraught Yi out before the room explodes. The robot is destroyed and the force field is quickly restored. In the evening, the team mourns Pan and the other casualties. Yi is given Pan's tags, and Jiang gives her Pan's bike key, as Pan had always wanted her to have it. Later, the committee debates abandoning Shanghai, but Yun refuses and reveals a final battle plan. Shut down the force field and redirect all its power to the cannon to destroy the mothership.
模拟训练就是因为这个吗？
The Grey Eagles will take on the role of defense in place of the shield, and they accept the dangerous mission. Yiyun asks Lin Lan to stay in the Xianteng room and stand guard. Civilians are evacuated to shelters, leaving the streets empty to facilitate the soldiers' fight. Each soldier leaves an item in a box to preserve their memory for 100 years, in case the city falls. Zheng Yu leaves a letter for his parents, Yi leaves Pan's keys, and Jiang leaves his phone, having sent a message to Lin Lan, confessing his feelings, though due to power issues, it doesn't go through. This time, the Grey Eagles will pilot actual planes instead of drones. As soon as the force field is shut down, the alien robots descend, initiating a fierce aerial battle. The Grey Eagles coordinate their skills with an army of drones, but their efforts fall short, as some robots breach their defenses and attack the command center.
年轻人，希望你们成功。
Yiyun dies when the command center explodes. The robots then advance toward the Xianteng facility, prompting the Grey Eagles and tanks to rush to stop them. As another intense battle rages on with both sides losing soldiers every second, Lin Lan checks on the cannon and discovers it's fully charged, ready to fire as soon as the mothership is in the optimal position. The robots manage to breach the ground defenses, and one of them leaps onto Yi Yi's plane. Jiang, taking a desperate measure, performs a daring maneuver and crashes his plane into the robot, destroying it but catching his wing on fire. Forced to evacuate, Jiang lands in the middle of the battle and immediately joins the fight, using his guns to target the robots up close. When a robot nearly kills him, Yi Yi appears in her plane and saves him by shooting the robots. She then joins the ground fight, fueled by a desire to get revenge for Pan. Meanwhile, Zheng Yu makes a risky approach toward the mothership, attempting to maneuver it into the cannon's firing range. Surrounded by numerous robots, he desperately needs backup. Yi Yi, recalling Pan, activates a special grenade in the command center that takes out a significant number of robots, sacrificing herself in the process. Jiang uses Yi Yi's plane to rejoin Zheng Yu in the air, and with the mothership finally in position, the cannon fires. As it turns out, the attack failed because the robots shielded the mothership from the blast. With hope dwindling, Lin Lan remembers Yi Yun's instructions. The cannon was fired with energy from the force field, but they had one last chance to use the remaining Xianteng energy. This will leave Shanghai defenseless and cause it to sink. Accepting the dire consequences, Lin Lan begins recharging the cannon. Meanwhile, Zheng Yu and Jiang continue to defend it. A robot sneaks into the Yanteng facility, killing everyone in its path. In a final act of desperation, Lin Lan activates the last resort, initiating the sinking of the city. As the land and buildings collapse, bringing down the robot with them, Lin Lan delivers a poignant farewell speech that deeply affects Jiang. The cannon's guidance system is damaged during the sinking, but Jiang instructs the team to use the infrared guidance device and lock it onto his position so he can guide the cannon. Zheng Yu flies ahead to clear the path and sacrifices himself by self-destructing to take down the remaining robots. With the mothership now exposed, Jiang flies into it to serve as a guide. The cannon fires its final charge, destroying the mothership and ending the alien threat. In the aftermath, Shanghai is slowly rebuilt using traditional technology instead of Xianteng. Jiang, having survived by ejecting from the pod just before the cannon hit, receives the highest promotion for his bravery. Despite the recognition, he mourns his fallen team and frequently visits the places where they used to hang out. One evening, he goes to the noodle restaurant and a co-worker brings him the box where he left his phone. When Jiang checks it, he finds that his confession to Lin Lan has been sent, and her reply simply says received. With tears in his eyes, Jiang sends one last message to her: sleep well, good night. In the final scene of the movie, a flashback reveals that when Jiang chose to join the army, he applied to the Shanghai Fortress War Zone because of her. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our recap. Watch our next videos on the screen, and don't forget for more amazing recaps. See you on the next one.